and welcome back to the Heart of Racing, your YouTube channel dedicated to the sport of horse racing. Now, let's talk through Thursday's vlog to start off with. Okay, yes, it was non-existent. I promised you a vlog on Thursday morning, but I couldn't get the vlog up on the channel. Now, the reason for this is I had a few issues with the editing software, but now those issues are all fixed. Yay! Now, one thing I'd like to say about Heart of Racing is not a tipping service. The reason I don't want it to be a tipping service is because I don't want tweets sent to my Twitter account saying, "Oh, you lost me loads of money, well done, oh, you're really good, oh." I don't want that, so that's the reason we're not a tipping service. We're going to give you information on some of the horses, and we'll also talk through some of the racing news. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about before we go into Saturdays and Sundays racing is a man called Brian Fletcher. Brian Fletcher was a real champion of a jockey. He rode this horse right here, Red Rum, to a Grand National and Scottish Grand National in the same season, which is probably one of his biggest achievements. He's also one of only 3 men who won the Grand National 3 times. So he was a true champion. Unfortunately, he passed away on Thursday evening. So rest in peace, Brian Fletcher. You're a true champion. Now, let's get into the racing, starting off with Saturday. So we're going to start off with Kempton Park Racecourse, which has been announced it's going to be closing around 2021, which is a bit sad really. I've got a lot of friends who go to Kempton Park Racecourse on a regular basis, and they usually go on Boxing Day as a family, which is really sad news to them because it's kind of a tradition for them. I know it's a tradition for me to go to Fontwell Park Racecourse on Boxing Day, and they get to go to Kempton Park Racecourse for the big race, which is the King George, and there have been many champions of that race that have been absolute heroes in the racing world. So it's very sad to hear the Jockey Club announced that to be closing, but on the bright side, Newmarket going to be opening an all-weather course sometime in the next 5 years, I guess, and also Chelmsford announcing that they're going to have a turf track, which could be quite interesting for the future. So let's have a look at the racing at Kempton. Kempton's starting at 12:20, and some of the races actually being shown on ITV4. The first race being shown there will be at 2:05. However, the race after that, 2:40, looks a very good race. The 32 Red Lanzarote handicap hurdle, which is a Class 1 race. And the one that catches the eye immediately is Does Your Dog Bite for John Joe O'Neill, ridden by Aidan Coleman. It's had 3 runs, 3 wins, and it's a course and distance winner. Sure to go off favourite, but I think a solid favourite nevertheless. Another horse I like in there, Calondra for Neil Mulholland, ridden by Richard Johnson. I tend to think that the big jockeys win the big races, and I think Aidan Coleman and Richard Johnson, you can't get much bigger than these two. Richard Johnson, last season champion jockey, and is sure to be champion jockey again this season. Aidan Coleman, though, he's been riding winners at the moment, he is on fire, so Does Your Dog Bite looks like the one to side with in that race. Old Guard, however, top of the weight, seems like it's been around for ages for Paul Nicholls, ridden by Sam Twiston Davies, but I'm definitely have to side with Does Your Dog Bite, unbeaten in 3 runs, course and distance winner, and I'm sure it's going to go well again today. So that's the one to side with there, Does Your Dog Bite. Now, moving over to Warwick with a very interesting card there as well, shown on ITV4 in the 150 race. It's the Betfred Mobile Hampton Novices Chase, the Class 1 listed race. Few decent runners in there. I mean, 007, a lot of people mistake it and call it 007, which does sound a little bit cooler, but 007 probably not going to run in that race, just because it did have a run yesterday, and I wouldn't be thinking of picking that out now because I'm sure it won't be running. American for Noel Feely, who's training that Harry Fry, looks decent enough, could go well. And I think there's another one in there that I'd like to side with, which would be Captain Chaos for Dan Skelton, ridden by Paddy Brennan. Bit of an interesting runner in that race, and I think those 2 horses could go well. So if I did have to side with one in that race, I think I'd go with American, Noel Feely on board that one for Harry Fry. So that's my pick for the Warwick card there. The other races there again, not that big, and I probably wouldn't go for any other horses. They've got a handicap hurdle there in the 2:25 with a lot of runners, and see, it's very difficult to pick a winner out there. There's a few runners already entered, But it's worth having a look at that race. If you like big price winners, do try and pick one out from that race, because there are a few runners. Maybe Colin Tizard, man on fire at the moment. Colin Tizard with a few runners, and then Masters Hill and Fourth Act. Have a look at those, because Colin Tizard is sending out a load of winners at the moment. He's got Thistlecrack, he's got Q Card, he had Finian's Oscar at Sandown last weekend. So definitely look at Tizard's horses at the moment, because they're on fire, and that yard just looked like they've got some beasts in there. So do have a look out for his horses across all the cards on Saturday and Sunday. No matter where you are, Tizard should have some decent runners. Right, now let's look at Punchestown's cards. So Punchstown won the big race of the day, the Grade 2 Skybet Moscow Fly Novice Hurdle. Very decent race, and a few decent horses come out of this, and Mullins has had a few decent horses come out of this race. And I probably expect Mullins to win this one again. He's got a few entries. Probably go with Crack Mom would be the horse. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Crack Mom would be the pick for that race. Should go on and become quite a big horse. Prava Laguna was entered. Prava Laguna is one that I've put down in my notebook for the rest of the season. Sister to the horse Palmy Petit Mouchoir, who beat Nichols Canyon a few weeks back now, and I think if as good as Petit Mouchoir, it will be a decent horse and a decent hurdler. So one to watch out for. Prava Laguna, note it down. But for the race in that 2:10, I'd probably go with Crack Mom for Willie Mullins. Definitely the pick for that race. Now, looking at tomorrow's racing, look at Sunday's card. We are only going to concentrate on Fairyhouse here, and only one race there that I really like the look of, which is the 2:30, the Bar 1 Racing Danmore Memorial Handicap Chase, which is a Grade A race. And Bow Dark's in this race in the Gigginstown colours for Gordon Elliott. No Brian Cooper on board. Brian Cooper out injured at the moment. We wish Brian the best of his recovery, but Jack Kennedy on board, the young superstar. He's on his way up, and I'm sure he's going to be a champion jockey one day, along with Cooper. So, Bow Dark, probably my pick for that race. However, Days Hotel for Henry de Bromhead, probably going to be near the top of the handicap, but looks like it will run a solid race. Not sure who's going to be riding that at the moment, but Days Hotel, one to watch out for in that race. Now that's a look at the weekend's racing, Saturdays and Sundays racing. Hope you've enjoyed the information you've received. Like I said, we're not a tipping service, but good luck if you are having a little dabble on the horses for this weekend. It's never easy, but good luck if you are having a bet. Now, moving on to Monday's vlog. Monday's vlog is going to look at Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday racing. Not usually the best days for racing, however we are going to have a look at the Cheltenham Gold Cup, which is one of the big races of the year. A little bit of information's come out today on the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and I will share that with you on Monday. And we will have a good look through the card, good look at that race and see what we can find there. Once again, thanks for all your support. I'm very sorry that Thursday's vlog didn't go up, but thank you for all the support. We're going to get some consistency from now on, and like I said, wish you all the luck with the racing this weekend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.